to Nintendo Nostalgia, episode 32. I'm your host, Ryan Black, and I'm joined by my co-host, Jacob Rush, and we are back and we are playing with power. Jacob, how are you doing?
Ryan, I have to tell you, man, I'm doing great. I mean, I was listening to some Metroid music earlier, a random mix, just all my SoundClouds, all through my iPod, and I was making a bunch of nachos, like healthy nachos, like good lean beef and stuff like that, and it just was a perfect mix. There's nothing better than making nachos with Metroid music in the background, so I'm in a good mood because of that. Oh, I loved it. They tasted pretty good. Oh, gosh. I really hope we have a new Metroid game on the coming up. But anyway, sorry. Well, Ryan, I think it is no surprise to a bunch of people, considering this man just went live moments before the show started. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have to give it up to the special guest of the week, the man of the hour, the one and only Nintendo guru, Bobby Pauls. What's up, man? How are you doing?
I am very well, very, very well. How are you guys doing? You know, listen, I want to know something right off the get. This is my second episode here. Has anybody been here more than 2 episodes?
Yes.
Who? That's actually our first.
Who?
Our first guest has been on a second time for Pokemon.
His name is John Miller. He's.
I don't appreciate this. I don't. Actually, no, that's not true. I've been on for 3 episodes. This is my 3rd episode, technically.
Yeah, I
have an unaired episode.
You do technically.
Yes.
Hidden in the archives.
Yes, I have an unaired episode that never saw the light of day. So that one is. So I'll pound that on my chest. I'm good to go now. So
you do. You have 3 episodes.
I have 3. I'm the leader. I'm now the leader. That's all I needed. I'm good.
That's hilarious. Well, yeah,
it's definitely good to have you back, man.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Bobby. It is such a joy.
You guys. We were talking about this on If We Were Nintendo, and I'm sure you guys both have listened to the episode by now. Where Sean and I were talking about you guys coming to us and wanting to podcast and stuff, and you guys have like completely blown it out of the water. Like when I talk about it in the episode, like when you guys sent me your episode 0. And I started watching it, and I was like, "Ooh, this is painful." And I was like, "Guys, we're going to do another episode 0, but I'm going to come on with you, and I'm going to kind of help you through." And from that episode 0 that you sent me to watch, to the one that I did with you guys, to your actual episode 1, dude, the jump was night and day. Like, you guys totally grabbed the ball and ran with it. And what you guys are doing now is just amazing. And you guys are just crushing it every single week. So I tip my cap to you guys. You guys are really doing some amazing stuff, man.
It means a lot, buddy, coming from you.
Thank you.
We look up to you, so thank you. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
We want to be able to do what we do if it wasn't for you guys and everyone else in our podcast indie communities. Helps us a lot. We learn and grow, and we've made mistakes on our show, and we try to improve every week. So
that's all you can do.
But no, thank you. That really means more than you know. It really does.
Problem. You're welcome. You're very welcome.
So that begs the question: what have we been playing, guys? Bobby?
I have been playing some NBA Playgrounds on my Switch. Awesome. I was struggling with the game when I first bought it, and I hated it. And there are some things that I don't like about the game. I will admit that. I hate the fact that when I go to dunk, I have to actually let off the button, and I don't know where that sweet spot is to let off the button. It's different when you're doing a jump shot because it's up and down. The other thing too that's different is when I played NBA Jam, you would release at the top of your arc of your jump, and you don't do that in this one. You kind of do it in between. So, but I could not score for anything. And then what I did was I played a tutorial match that would actually teach you how to play the game. And it would pause the game, and it would throw menus up and say, like, this is what this means, and this is what this means, and this is how you should do this. And after that, I've been tearing it up now. I've been scoring like crazy. crushing it with threes. The one thing that now Thursday, there's supposed to be an update that comes out. It's supposed to patch a lot of things. Apparently, in handheld mode, it's not going to be as blurry, so that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's supposed to speed up the load times, which is another good thing, and it's supposed to change some things. Like Shaq, apparently, when you play against Shaq, he will drain threes on you like it's nobody's business. And everybody knows that Shaq can't even hit a free throw, let alone a three-pointer. So that is supposedly getting fixed. And then the other thing is, there's a bunch of stuff they're fixing, but one other thing is steals. The computer gets real cheap as you go through and you play the game, where they'll just literally, I was playing a game in France, and this was my third tournament I was going through, and I'm in the finals, and I was up by 6 against Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, and literally the last minute, they stole the ball every time I touched it, and they wound up beating me by 10 points in the last minute. Oh. And I was like, this is insane. Like, it got so frustrating because the minute I touched the ball, they would steal it. So
bull crap.
I know. But other than that, like, I've been playing some Minecraft and dipping into a little bit of Street Fighter as well. Street Fighter 2 Ultra. But that's it. And ARMS, and the ARMS demo, which I'm a fan of. I know Jacob is I don't even know why you call yourself a Nintendo fan, making such comments like you made this week. It's amazing. It's amazing. You know, this is what amazed me about Jacob. If you're in any of the Facebook groups and someone's bashing Nintendo, he's messaging me immediately, ragging on the person, upset about the person. What do I say? I want to say something. I'm getting so mad. And then here he is, Mr. Troll about ARMS, talking trash. I'm disappointed, Jacob.
Oh, I like to poke the bear sometimes. You know?
I'm very disappointed in you. You have you've fallen. You know, I take back everything I said at the beginning of the show.
No.
You
Give all the credit to Ryan. I mean, I love Nintendo stuff, but man,
how are you playing it?
I was doing it motion wise, and I know horrible. Next weekend I'm going to try again with the Pro Controller. Yeah. So that's my game plan. I haven't given up yet. I finally called it quits when I literally didn't hit the guy one time.
Yeah,
he beat the crap out of me. I was like,
motion controls are not that fun. I used the Pro Controller the whole time, and I had a blast. So I really strongly suggest you try the motion controls. The Pro Controller, not the motions. The Pro Controller.
That's the plan. I mean, it's not the game's fault. I suck, I guess. No, it sucked so far. So
yeah.
I'll go to some more tries. Same with Splatoon. Like I said,
What?
I was never good at Splatoon. Like, I owned the first one.
Okay, I was just say, don't talk trash about Splatoon.
No, I know. It's the most I love. Like, if you know me, my band that I was in for 8 years was a pop punk band. Like, I love pop punk, and I love like bright colors. It's like pop punk colors to me, and like this is the most pop punk video game I've ever seen in my life. The music and I'm drawn to everything about it, but I suck at the game, and I'm like. Mark Carabin said he's going to have to get on and he's going to have to train me sometime. So
listen,
when the new one comes out.
If you want to get good at that game, you don't let Mark Carabin train you. You let me train you. All right? Okay. Mark has nothing on me, okay? I'm just telling you right now. We have a podcast called the Ink Strike Podcast.
Yes.
He's the weak link in the group. Trust me. He is not that good.
Ooh, shots fired, Mark.
And listen, he knows. If it wasn't for me, he wouldn't be putting up the points he puts up. And he knows that's true. He knows it's true.
That's hilarious. Okay, well, we're going to have a training session when all this online stuff gets working.
Exactly.
So, Jacob, you've been playing ARMS. What else have you been playing?
Mainly what I've been playing is, that Mario RPG. A couple of our buddies in our Nintendo Nostalgia community group that everyone here should go join right now. They challenged me because I don't play very many RPGs. Like it's just never been like my thing. I haven't really enjoyed them much. And one, like a lot of the big ones, like Final Fantasy, like the mainline stuff just doesn't come to Nintendo anymore. By the time I was really into gaming, and I have played Paper Mario 1 and 2, and I did love those back in the day. But I never played Mario RPG, and I actually have had it in my Wii for the longest time, for years, and it just sits there. I just bought it and left it there. So I accepted their challenge, and I've been playing it. So I really like a lot of stuff about it, and I see a lot of things for Paper Mario improved on the game. Like, to be honest, I like Paper Mario 1 a lot better than Mario RPG, and I'm not trashing the game. Like, this is me legitimately playing through it in my experience, because I see where the game improved. What I'm getting frustrated with is I'm in the final world right now. Have you beat the game, Bobby?
No, I never. I tinkered with it. I really wasn't a fan of the series of that game. I really wasn't a fan of that game. No.
Wow.
And I tried to go back later, and it was hard. It doesn't look. It's not aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Yeah,
it's not. No, it absolutely isn't. But I'm in the last world, and it's giving me a headache, because it goes on and on and on and on. And normally I don't like great games to end, but this is why I don't like about RPGs. You grind and fight. And I find myself, I want to skip all these little weaklings and get to the main course of the meal. And you can't do that, or your team's weak. And, but it's not even beyond the point. I fought in the final world right now, spoilers to everybody, I fought in 3 mini-sized bosses, and I thought I fought the main boss. I always thought that giant sword that kicks you out of Bowser's Castle was the big boss. All this time, I found out today he's not the big boss. You fight him, and then you go inside him into a whole new world, and there's 3 mini boss fights inside him, and it's just when's the game going to end? I beat this dude, and then it's oh, let's go here now. And so I don't know. I just feel like it's dragging on, and it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
But I like it in general. I'm almost done. I'm not saying I hate the game. I'm just at a frustrating moment in the game. So that's really what I've been playing. Oh, I did real quick. After I dropped that trash game of ARMS over the weekend, I picked up my 3DS and I started playing some Donkey Kong Land again. I'm trying to beat that game. So I'm trying to pick up where I stopped my progress on that when the Switch came out, and I've continued to play that a little bit more.
Cool. So what I've been playing this week.
Can I guess? I think you've been playing a lot of I Am Setsuna.
Yes.
Thank you. How you like that? I know Ryan.
He's the guru.
I beat Blaster Master Zero and moved on over to I Am Setsuna, and I've been loving it so far.
Good game. It's a good game.
I'm at a part in the game where a big climatic thing happens and you find out something, and the character that I've been training up the whole game just disappears. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm kind of having to rebuild a new character who's several levels behind my other 2 characters, and that's RPGs for you. But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where it goes. I don't know how close I am to the end, but it looks great.
It's about a 20-30 hour game, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that area. It's not a huge game, but it's real. The art style is beautiful. The music is phenomenal, man. It's straight up Squaresoft, old school Squaresoft. It's made by Square Enix, but it's when I say Squaresoft, I'm saying it takes you back to that Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, back in the day type of role playing game. It is really, really good, man.
This is actually my intro into that sort of thing, because I never played Chrono Trigger or Secret of Mana or anything like that. Oh my God,
you guys!
I played Final Fantasy, but I didn't play, and I played Dragon Quest, if you want to count.
Yeah,
Phoenix side of things.
Chrono Trigger is such a great game, man. It's
on my list of things to play.
So good, man. So good. What Chrono Trigger was they took the 3 best guys in Japan at the time. One of the lead guys on Final Fantasy, one of the lead art designers on Dragon Ball Z, and I believe someone from Dragon Quest, and they merged and they made it like a super group team and made this game, Chrono Trigger. And it is so good, man. It is just amazing. They did a great job with it.
The other thing I've been playing, of course, is the Global Test Punch for ARMS. And let me just say, my arms are still sore.
Oh, Jesus.
I loved the motion controls. In fact, I rock at the motion controls. I got 112 score on my last test punch. I love the motion controls. In fact, I've pretty much, it's second nature to me now. Like, I have no problems fighting with it. Like, I can't wait to face some people who have controllers who know what they're doing, though. And I want that challenge because I'm not finding the challenge now at just a test punch level. And I need that.
Well, look at you.
Help me get better. And I'm probably going to be pushed past motion controls to a standard controller once I hit those people, but I haven't found them yet. So I haven't found the people that kick me around.
What I found was this. As each test punch continued on, I played them all except for the last one. And what I found was, as I would start up, they were starting to progressively get better and better and better as each one went on. Kind of reminded me of Splatoon. You know, as time goes on, these guys just start getting better and better and better. That's why for someone that's like, I'm going to wait for this game until all the content's on it, you're making a big mistake. Because what I learned with Splatoon was I went in early, and by the time all the content got there, I was mastering that game.
Yeah.
And by the time people started to get in, they were getting crushed because, you know, you have all this experience and stuff. And so it's the same thing, I think.
And I've been building a lot on that. Like, one thing I noticed, and I don't know, it's the same thing with Splatoon, where I would fight a match against someone and they would just cream me. And then later on, I'd get paired up with them again and I would just mow them down. And, like, I even had a perfect game against someone that took me down and, like, I got, like, one hit off on them. And so, like, I don't know what that meant. If they were just having an off game, they were tired because they're using motion controls or what.
No,
but I don't know
if anyone knows, but I mean, I think it's pretty clear. I pointed out the past like 5 episodes that Ryan Black is a hustler, guys. I mean, the man said that he can't. He said he can't play Mario Kart. He said he wasn't even going to get the game because he's terrible at it. And then I get online and Ryan's in like first place in the indie podcast group, or he's fighting for first all the time, and I'm like, little hustler. I lost $500 to this guy. How do you think he bought a new mic?
Oh, God.
Oh,
good Lord.
He's a cheater. So don't let him fool you.
All right, before we get too out of hand here, I am not that great. I just
lies.
I have natural talent for video games because I just do. But that doesn't mean that I am unbeatable, and I have weaknesses, and I have my bad day just like everyone else. And I guess I was having a good day when I was playing that podcast race.
I guess so.
All right, guys, I think it's time that we get into the news. So, rolling right in from ARMS, I wanted to touch on some ARMS news. The Global Test Punch is going to be coming back next weekend.
Yes.
They say that they're going to be bringing in a skill shot mode, which is the target practice type, where you throw your punches in different ways to hit as many targets as you can. Mm-hmm. They're going to be throwing that in there. And then also the basketball game is going to be replacing the volleyball game. And I think that was a good choice on their part, to change it up, to make it a little bit of a different experience. That doesn't become stale that way. And it also gives you a feel for what the actual game is going to be like. Oh, I'm going to have all these modes to play from. It's not just going to be straight fighting or 3v3 or when, 3 people against each other or being tethered to someone else. Like, you can actually play other mini games, I guess. I guess they're kind of full games, but just other challenges in different genres, I guess.
Yeah.
Like fighting sports and what have you. But until then, you can play the Global Test Punch, sort of. There is a trick out there you can look up that allows you to play the practice mode on your own without the test punch going on, like the actual event running. You can actually just, you can do in train. If you set certain settings to like 1.1.1 on like your router settings or something, you can actually connect and practice.
Like right now, I could pick up and start playing.
Yeah, if you do this little,
Wow, I'm gonna have to do that. I have to try it out. That's what I kind of hate about the Global Test Punch is like, I don't want to give up on ARMS yet. Like, I don't want to just throw in the towel because I think it's stupid. If you know me, the kind of gamer I am, like, even like the games that I'm really good at, I got a slow acceleration. I always am kind of like, I'm like the Colts actually a lot lately. Like, I stumble right out the gate, and then by the time the end of the game comes, I'm like fighting for that lead to win the game. Like, that's how I am with my gaming. If I pop in Donkey Kong Country 2 right now, I'll die ridiculously all the time. But then talk to me an hour and a half, 2 hours in, I'm doing combos. I'm like getting it. I'm getting in my groove. And so, like, it'd be stupid for me to be like, yeah, I'm not getting ARMS just by one weekend of never playing the game and not, just not being really good at it. I don't understand it fully yet. So I wish that, man, this was going on all week long, but I'm happy that it's coming back next weekend.
I'm not sure I'm going to buy it yet, but I know that I am good at it.
Liar.
And so I may pick it up, especially if Jacob doesn't, because one of us has got to get it.
He said he wasn't going to get Mario Kart 8 and he bought it at the last minute. He's a little liar. He needs to make that up. How do you think he pays for this podcast? He hustles for his money.
Hey, man, somebody's got to do it.
I guess he's the perfect one for it. So,
Jacob, I hear you have some news that you want to bring to the table.
I got some news. I saw some. It's not like, I guess, news. I just want to talk about what I saw today, and it just cracks me up because it happens every year. Okay, everyone's freaking out about Smash Bros. Leaked ports for the Switch, and I'm like, I saw it instantly, and I said, "This is fake." And I said, I was thinking about it on my way home from work today, and I was texting my Mr. Kyle Martin, the artist for Nintendo Nostalgia, and I said, you know what, Kyle? I said I could go home right now, and I could turn on my Nintendo GameCube, put Super Smash Bros. Melee in, and put it on my screen, and then I could just sit back a little bit with my Switch controllers in my Joy-Con grip, and I could snap a photo, and I could edit this photo to make it look not so clear on the computer, but you could tell what I was playing. And then I could unanimously put it out there on the internet, not let anyone know where the sources come, and I could say, and start the rumor that the Nintendo GameCube Virtual Consoles, like, this is a leak of footage of what is going to come at E3 for the GameCube Virtual Console. We're getting it. Melee's on the list, and everyone would lose their mind. And it cracks me up because then right before we started the show, Game Explain had just tweeted out that it had been confirmed that the images that were out today were fake. That it wasn't real, that the Smash Bros. Stuff we saw. So I just don't understand. I just find it funny that everyone every year falls for the same things. I mean, you kind of would think that we would just ignore it, and people are already sharing articles of Nintendo is going to have this and this and this announced, and Bobby, Toby said on your show today, and I can't agree even more. He said it the best. It's like getting that Christmas gift that someone shows you your Christmas gift and you didn't want to see it till Christmas morning. Because I'm that kind of person. Like, I don't want anything. My wife tries to give me stuff early all the time. I'm like, no, my birthday's 2 weeks or Christmas is in 2 weeks. I'm that same way. And like, so even if these rumors, some leaked, is true, like, I don't want to know until E3. Like, Ryan and I, we have a rule. The week of E3, we stay off social media. We do not log into Twitter. We do not log into Facebook because we want to be surprised when we see the event happen. I just wanted to comment on that.
What I always used to say was, I can't wait for the day before the Nintendo Direct when everything gets leaked. And then the day of the Nintendo Direct, everybody's pissed because the Direct was boring. Meanwhile, you're freaking out the day before because all this cool stuff, and then exactly what leaked is shown in the Direct, and you're upset because it was a boring Direct. Dude, you read all the information. Like, it's leaked. It's horrible. Like, that was like when Mario Maker leaked, like when Ryu and Roy leaked the years. It stinks, man. It's not fun, No. Like, with the Rabbids, with the thing, and I said this to Toby, with the Rabbids Mario RPG or whatever, like, dude, Ubisoft is horrible at leaks. That stuff was getting talked about for months. So I wasn't too upset about that. What I was more upset about was this. That's obvious that stuff that they showed for that game was stolen stuff. And to me, it's like, what kind of a scumbag are you to just take that and spread it out? Like, you either stole it from Ubisoft and you posted it, or someone gave you stolen information and you posted it in order to get more clicks on your website and stuff. That's what I have the bigger issue with. Not so much the information getting out there. Like, it's going to happen. It sucks. And like I said, this information has been coming for a while. But like that in-depth stuff, like it's talking about like when Ubi was supposed to announce this and talk about this, just seems kind of shady to me. And that's where I have the bigger issue of it all. Not so much the leaked information, just the fact that the people that leak it, it's like, man, you really are messed up, because the person that I've always had an issue with is Emily Rogers, because I've always felt like, well, you just spoil everything for everybody. But she's been one with this game like, hey, I've seen this. I've seen what's coming. It looks really interesting. I'm really excited about it. These people were just like, here it is. Take a look. And it's like, and the problem that I have with it is that all these people are looking at it and passing judgment before we even know what it is. Like, let's wait, pump the brakes, figure out what this thing is. Let Ubisoft do their announcement. This might be the coolest thing ever, but you never know because everybody's attacking it already. And that bothers me more than anything.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, did you see the Smash Bros. Leak this morning? The one we were talking about at first?
I did. And I knew it was fake right away. No way.
I'll tell you what, man. If it's fake, more power to them. But that thing looks amazing. If it's fake, and I'll be honest with you, I thought I was hyped when I saw those levels. I was like, dude, these are some pretty awesome levels. That Paper Mario level was amazing, man. Mm-hmm. So I'm all for it But then again, if you remember a few years ago when they had the fake Smash stuff. I think it was Smashified. Yeah. The actual YouTube account where the guy actually, and that looked like legit, man. And it all turned out to be fake. So.
Yep. Absolutely. You never know what you can believe anymore today, kids.
Hey, remember when the NX was supposed to be this oval thing?
Yeah. Everyone freaked out.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone freaked out.
And that went for a while.
And everyone was passing judgment on it. Everyone was like, if that's the new Nintendo, that is garbage. I'm not getting it. I remember. I'm glad that was fake.
Yeah, me too, because I wasn't happy with it. I'll be honest with you.
I was optimistic, you know me, but love my Nintendo. So, but Bobby, you had some news for us today?
I got no news. No, I'm kidding. Apparently, we're gonna. This is a flashback to the '80s with the NES. The Switch is selling like gangbusters, and apparently, all tech companies are having issue getting parts. And it's multiple layers. It's not just one thing. That's why I love the articles that are saying that Nintendo is now in a war with Apple to get parts. That's one piece of the puzzle. There's other stuff. It's all these components that all these mobile phone companies use in order, and it's basically somewhat the same tech. So Nintendo wants to do 20 million units by the end of the year. They want to build 20 million units by the end of the year, and they're in a position where they might not be able to now because they might run into a bidding war. And knowing Nintendo, they're not going to pay top dollar for this stuff. They're going to wait it out, and which is bad because it's going to slow the churn out. And you might run into an issue where it's going to be hard to get. I mean, right now it's not easy to get them, but you can still see them. Like I go to stores and I'll still see them in stock, and I'll tweet out like I see them at the store, or hey, I saw this at this store. And I see that occasionally where you'll see like, hey, Amazon has them, go get it, and all that on Twitter. But I think it's gonna become rarer, and it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing for Nintendo because they have a real strong momentum going right now. It's not a good thing for the fans that want one, especially as they're moving into middle of the summer, E3 hype, and then they're going to steamroll into the last part of the year, Christmas time. I don't know that this bodes well for Nintendo, honestly.
I know on my end, the digital or the bundles that they're selling at GameStop just sold out again, but it was a little slower this time. It took the whole Memorial Day weekend before those finally went. I think
the prices are insane, man.
It was like a $5 discount.
The thing with GameStop is, look, most of the times what they're offering wouldn't be so bad. But they should let you pick the games you want and say, like, hey, you can get 2 games. Here's the cost of the bundle. You pick the 2 games you want. You pick that you want a Pro Controller or a Joy-Con or whatever. Like, they just clump this stuff together, and they're giving you stuff that you don't even want. They're giving me the carrying case that I don't want. I want the cool Zelda one, man. I don't want that trash one. It's like fabric, and it's just like, it's so frustrating when you.
They don't want to get stuck with stock, and so they'll bundle it with other things that people may want. May not want to pay that much for it, but to get it, they'll pay it out.
Yeah, of course. They're stocking. They're bundling with has-been heroes. That's obvious that they're trying to get rid of that piece of trash. That
I've got a friend who thinks that's the best game right now.
Yeah, well, your friend needs to go get off the crack because that is garbage. It was. I traded it in. That was the end of my review. Spoilers. The review was, this thing is so bad, I'm taking it back to the store. That's how bad it was. It was horrible. So
wow, that's not good for them.
No, it's a bad game.
So with that happy bit of talk, let's get into the meat of the show, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Nintendo.
Animal Crossing made its first debut on September 15th, 2002. This game was very, very unique. There was nothing else out there like it. It was a take over your life every second of every day kind of game. This threw you into a world full of animals, and it gave you a house. No, it didn't give you a house. It gave you a loan to build a house that you had to pay back immediately. And at that point, you realize, well, I got to pay this back. So then you continue playing, and you get the money, and you pay it back. And then you realize, oh, I've invested so much time in this, I want to continue for more. And it hooks you. Nintendo has an addiction machine. So I want to know, when did you guys first get hooked by Animal Crossing? What was your first experience with this wonderful, crazy, life-consuming game?
For me, so the deal for me was, I was living on my own. I had a GameCube. I wasn't really a fan of. I was starting to push away from video games, especially my GameCube. I was leaning more towards my PS2 at the time, and I went to Sam Goody, and I had a buddy who was a store manager there, and they had these cards on the wall for Animal Crossing. He's like, oh, I'm like, what is this? And he's like, oh, it's this thing, and it's an e-reader card, and you swipe it, and you can get stuff put into your game. And I'm like, what's the game? And he's like, Animal Crossing. And I was like, that sounds so stupid. And he's like, dude, it is one of the best games you'll ever play. And I was like, you are insane, man. Never. And he goes, and what he sold me on, he was like, look, I have it at home. I will bring it in. I will give you a copy of it to play. I was like, okay. So he gave me the GameCube version, gave me the copy, and we start going. And next thing you know, it turns around and there's classic Nintendo games, NES games built in this GameCube version. And I was like, it's the original Virtual Console. Like, I could play Mario Brothers, I could play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, I could play Zelda, I could play all these different games. You know what I mean? I was like, holy crap, this is amazing. And what it did was it tricked me, because I only started playing it because of the classic games, and it tricked me into buying it and playing it and falling in love with the game. And it was these little tasks that you were doing every day, and you were becoming friends with these villagers. And I thought it was stupid when I hear people go like, oh, that's my favorite villager. And I'm like, why? It's stupid. It's a little duck. Who cares? And then as time goes on, it becomes your favorite characters, and you do fall in love with these characters. Like, you get pissed when they move away, and like, it's like, why are you leaving? And all this stuff. And it's like just really cool. And that was the original GameCube version for me, and that's what got me into Animal Crossing as it went forward. But that was the tip of the iceberg for me. Like, I feel like progressed as time goes on to become more of a community game, community-driven game. And I've created some great friends from this game just because of future iterations of this game. When online came to Animal Crossing, it opened and changed that game up wide open, totally changing the game. So I'll stop there and let Jacob kind of talk before I continue on. But,
yeah, I mean, the one Animal Crossing game that I have a lot of memories with is the first one for the GameCube. Okay. I remember this was around the time I was trading in games a lot, something I regret today, but I remember Animal Crossing. It was a game that I found at I want to say it was a Funko Land at the time. It might have been a GameStop, I'm not quite sure, but I was really into trading in games, like I said, and I was in this weird phase where I wanted like weird Japanese like cartoons that wasn't popular with everyone else. Now, granted, this thing has grown to be a massive franchise, but I don't know. I kind of felt like Animal Crossing was unique and different, and that's why I picked it up. I mean, that's really all I remember from it, but like I said, it did fall off for me pretty quickly after the GameCube. But that's mainly my first experiences with the game. But Bobby, why is it still so popular to this day?
There's so much creativity that goes into this game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's so many things you can edit and change. Like when I do my town, I put paths in. I decorate the town with shrubs and flowers and my town flag. I put like different things up and like, like I do. It gets crazy, dude, where people actually build like a school. Like they'll actually have one house that's theirs. Then they'll go build a second house and it becomes a school. And every room in the house is like a different classroom and stuff. And then they'll have a police station where they go in and it's like set up. So I used to play, I'm a big Batman fan. My town was called Gotham. So I had a house that I built, right? After I had my town set up, I built a mansion.
There you go.
And the character that was there was Bruce Wayne. And when you went into the mansion, it was all fancy and stuff. And then when you went into the basement, it was like the Batcave.
That's hilarious.
I had like Batman stuff set up. Like I had a Robin suit set up. I had like the Bat computer. I had characters or like statues that kind of look like Two-Face and all this different stuff in there, man. I built the basement to be like the Batcave. It was so cool, man. It was just, and when you go look at like what they did with New Leaf, what they did that was kind of cool was when you street pass people, their houses would show up in your Happy Home Academy, and you could go up there and buy stuff, kind of like a catalog out of their house. But you would see the way they decorate their houses. It was insane. And Japan, dude, the way Japanese people decorate their houses and stuff is just mind-blowing. And just to see all the stuff that you can actually do to your towns and all that, it's amazing, dude. You're not giving enough credit, and I don't appreciate you not giving enough credit. So,
Bobby, I gotta know, with your Animal Crossing, when you build it, please tell me. Now, this is probably before or after your time, I should say. You call it Bobby's World. I gotta know.
Do I call it Bobby's World?
Yes.
No. I call it Gotham.
Well, I mean, just like whenever you make it, have you ever made like Bobby's World? Because
no, I've never made Bobby's World. Never. I've done Guruville. I've done different stuff like that, but I've never done Bobby's World. You were saying earlier the first game you started playing was Wild World, correct?
Yes, that was the first experience that I had.
And I thought Wild World was garbage. I hated Wild World because Wild World was like nothing. So that was the other thing about the original GameCube version. It was kind of like top-down Zelda, where like you would play in your little area, and then when you would move over, the whole world would kind of scroll over. Yeah. And I liked that aspect of it. I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't like the first time you actually roam the world because it was like you're on a log, and it was a barrel. It was kind of rolling. That I didn't like at all. But I did start to grow to like it when they announced City Folk. Because when they said that all your stuff would transfer from Wild World over to City Folk, I started getting all these items because I knew I was going to transfer that game over. But City Folk wasn't as good as I thought. Wild World was probably better than City Folk, but the internet was better on City Folk than Wild World by far.
Yeah. So how I got hooked, I played a game called Smash Brothers Melee. And in Smash Brothers Melee, there was a trophy you could unlock that was a dog with the guitar called Tota KK.
Yep.
And I was like, I wonder what this is. I'm curious. And then I heard that Jacob got this Animal Crossing game. I was like, hey, that's the game that had that character trophy from Smash Brothers in it. Oh, tell me more about it. And so Jacob started explaining this to me. And then he dropped this little bit of information that you could get classic games in it. Mm-hmm. The original Virtual Console, as you described. Yeah. And I'm like, is there Metroid in there? And he's like, it's all in here. I'm like, I need this game. But then I realized, but you know what? It is on a console that I can't take with me. If it ever came to like my Game Boy or my DS, in a heartbeat, I would get this game. Because I want to play those classic Nintendo games. Mm-hmm. And so the second that Wild World was announced, like I was on it. I reserved it. I paid it off. That was my game. Mm-hmm. I had to get it. Like I wanted it because I wanted to play those NES games. And you may have realized by now when I got the game and I was playing it, I was like, I got to unlock these NES games. And they weren't in the game. I'm like, so when do I get these NES games? Are they in the game? Are they in the game? They weren't in the game.
Yeah.
But by the time that I realized it, I had already been hooked. Just there was no going back. So then I in turn got my wife hooked. And we started playing together. And that was kind of my origin story for Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's cute and all, you know. Let's not candy coat this. You know, Animal Crossing is. Yeah, I think the best version, and maybe it's because it's the one I played, was probably the GameCube one. I mean, I guess New Leaf is a pretty big hit right now.
New Leaf is amazing. New Leaf is the best. New Leaf took all the best parts of all the games and threw it into one. That's what that's into one. Yeah.
Which I had that one, and I traded it in. So but anyways, I had, with me for the GameCube one, what Bobby said, I really loved the aspect of collecting, you know, the games. I do remember I'll be honest, there was a time where I played this game quite a lot, you know, back in the day. But what hit me was I just eventually, I got bored. I got tired of having to come in every day and do something and stop the cockroaches from being in your house and pulling all the weeds up. Like, it just became too tedious for me. And I mean, I have too many things in my own life going on. I don't have time to manage a town and Animal Crossing today, and do all this silly stuff. I mean, maybe I didn't fully understand the mechanics, but what I did like about the GameCube game, I always loved the best way to like get cash. I don't remember per se, but you went to this island. Is that correct, Bobby?
That was a good way. Yeah, it was a good way to get a lot of money. Yeah,
that's why I remember I used to go to that island all the time, and I would go there, and that's how I would make all my money, and that's how I would try to like build up my house and buy things. That was a cool part of the game that I do remember I enjoyed. But
yeah.
I mean, there's lots of aspects to the game. So let's kind of talk about like why the game is cool. I mean, yes, we can customize our house and our towns, but there's like, if there's anything today that Animal Crossing does that is cool, with the internet now, you can have like timed events. There's holiday events in an actual game that takes place in real life. And I do admire that. I do think that is neat. And it is neat that I can go to, if I wanted to, I could go to either of your towns and we could visit each other on, hey, happy 4th of July, Bobby. And you know what I mean? There's lots of little things in here. There's fishing. There's bug catching. Again, to me, I view it as tedious work that I don't want to waste my time on. I'd rather be playing some Metroid instead. But
this is why New Leaf got better. So you could set your town to beautiful. You wouldn't get weeds no more. You wouldn't get dying flowers. You wouldn't have to water your plants anymore. You could basically take the best parts of the game, or the parts you hated the most about the game, and shut it down, per se, in this. So what I liked about it was it brought out a part of me, the collector in me. So what I try to do is I always try to fill my museum with fossils, with fish, with bugs. And the cool thing is like, there's a fish, there could be a fish that comes out, let's say a carp, and the carp only comes out from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. In the month of September, and that's it. And you literally have to go hunt, and it can only be in a river, not a lake or not a pond. So it's like designated in areas that are where it is. It's like so realistic, and everything is real time. That's what's amazing. If it's 1 o'clock in the world, in real life for me, it's 1 o'clock in that game. If I don't play the game for a week and I go back in, the animals start yelling at me and asking me where I've been. Like, it is really ingenious how everything ties together, and it's a much deeper game than I think you're passing it off to be. I feel like it has so many cool intricacies with it, and so many cool things that are just amazing with it, and the way they've handled it over time is just awesome. Like I said, all the detail, like you can set your town tune, and when I show up in your town, there's a theme song that's playing, and it's only a few notes, but all of a sudden you go, oh my God, that's from Mario Brothers, or oh my God, that's from Batman, or that's from Zelda. And it's like, but it's only a few notes, you know, and then like you could customize your town flag, and you go in and the person has their flag waving, and just there's so much stuff that you could do with this game. And it's really, I think it's a really well done game. I think as time has progressed, the game has gotten better and better and better, and they've always done these little things. Look, I know why you're upset. You're just mad because Mario Kart 8 got an Animal Crossing track and it didn't get a Metroid or a Donkey Kong track. I get it. I understand. You want Diddy Kong Racing and you didn't get that. I understand.
You want Diddy Kong Racing.
I get why you're bitter. It's okay.
Jacob, somewhere in there, in that head of yours, in that maybe heart of yours, there is this fond memory that you have of Animal Crossing. There's got to be something in there. What is it?
That's
dig deep.
Tom Nook taking my cash. That's what I remember. A dang Tom Nook. I mean, the game is just like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand there's a lot to it, and I admire the real time stuff, like how realistic it is. Besides the fact that you're living in a town with walking, talking animals, it's a very realistic game. As in, like what you said with the holidays and the time zones, and like that's all cool. Yeah, it's just not something that not every game is for everybody, you know. I'm not somebody who wants to come back and revisit the game every day and go fishing. Like, I don't even fish in real life, you know. I'm not
fish in real life either, man. But it's something cool about it.
I get it. It's just not for me personally.
But I think your younger self would beat you up right now, because I distinctly remember you raving about these NES games being in the GameCube version. You actually getting to play them.
Yeah,
you were such like a kid in a candy store with that. Like, that got me hooked. So I know that it's there. You're just in denial.
I know. No, I mean, you're right. With the GameCube version, like, that was amazing, because you got to think of the time we were in. Okay, the time we didn't. It was kind of hard to get those games. I mean, they had some re-released on the Game Boy Advance and stuff, but in general, it wasn't like today where I could just turn on my Wii U and I got all the old classics, or I have a NES Mini with 30 classic games on it now. You know, like, it was just a different time. So, like, to go back, because for me, you could play the original Mario Brothers, and the last time I actually had the original Mario Brothers was when we had our original Nintendo that broke a long time ago. So for me to go back and play this was awe. Now I was in awe about that. Like, that was awesome. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Ryan. Like, there were elements of the game that I loved, and that was key to me being hooked back then. Today, it doesn't have that anymore, and it just doesn't hook me anymore today.
It sounds like your current self is very, very jaded and blinding you to your nostalgia self. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, maybe
We're
this
getting
game.
into the deep things of it.
The one thing that I got out of the game that I feel is the kicker for me is I made so many great friends from this game. There's a lot of people in my Nintendo Guru Facebook group that you saw me tag when you guys asked the question.
Yeah.
And they all came out of they all flooded with comments and stuff about it because they're all huge Nintendo fans and they're all huge Animal Crossing fans. And all those people, like I met them playing this game and randomly, like I was in someone's town and Amber shows up and we start talking and she had all these cool items. I'm like, hey, can I be your friend? This is on City Folk. Can I be your friend? She's like, yeah, we exchanged, we became friends. And then we would start trading items. Jeffrey Mahoney, same thing. Like this kid, when I met him, this is no lie. I was 30 something years old, 35, 36 years old.
Oh, so young.
He was 15 when I met him. And we became like best friends playing this game. We would play every single day together and we would just hang out and we would talk and we'd just do stuff. And it was like really awesome. And today, now he's, in his mid-20s and we're still good friends. We still talk all the time and all that stuff. It's like I've made friends that I could never get rid of for the rest of my life. And it's because of this game, seriously. So I think there's something to be said about the game, honestly. And there's a little piece of something in this game for everybody. And I think that's what's cool about it, is there's so many facets to this game.
And to build off of that, talk about like maybe if there is the next Animal Crossing game that comes to Switch, something that, possibly could get me into it. And I know you had this element with the 3DS, but to be honest, it's only been with the past year and a half now that like I actually know other people besides Ryan, Kyle, and my buddy Traven that I talk about games with. Like my whole life, for the longest time, it was just my core group of friends at home. What I'm excited about with the Switch this round, I've said it on the show before, is that I'm involved in our communities. And like I know people. Like I have a good handful of friends on my Switch of people that I can log in with, and I know in Mario Kart, like they're from the community.
Yeah.
Like they can know who I am. So, I will admit the fact that I have that now, and that I feel like maybe that's all I need. Maybe I need Bobby Balls, trade me some wood for some fish, whatever, and to in the next game to get me, so I can give me a reason to enjoy it, because I have. I've been bored with the other stuff, and maybe that connectivity with other people could be the hooker for me. I won't lie about that. I won't deny. I'll give it a shot, just like that Trash Arms game.
Hey,
you are. So you know what?
I never said trash and garbage so much until I started listening to you. Now I call everything trash. I always say that's trash. That's garbage. Good old Bobby.
That's good. You're learning. It's good.
Let the hate flow through you.
Now, even though I don't have a special connection to this game, it's fair to say that it's popular and it's unique. But why is that, Ryan?
Nintendo made something that means something to people, and really has helped people to grow. I know people that were antisocial. And one particular person, I'm not going to mention their name, but they played Animal Crossing, and they actually started opening up, and they became this wonderful person, but you never would have known it because they were just so introverted. But them coming over to my town, to Friends of Mine's town, and interacting with us brought them out of their shell. And suddenly they're these beautiful people, and we could talk about Nintendo and our love for Animal Crossing because of this little seed that was planted by this company that loves video games and loves these interactions with people. Nothing means more to me than that, to build real life, genuine connections.
Well, and that's what's wonderful about Nintendo in general too, is that like they're always finding ways for somebody to connect and to play and enjoy their games. And that's one thing you got to give credit for Nintendo to. I mean, we just saw an article last week of a blind boy who wrote a letter to Nintendo because they are the reason he can play video games today. In Japan, a boy wrote that letter, and they wrote him back and said that, they look to continue to making great rhythm games for him to play. And Ryan, what you just said about people there are people who are shy and who are very well in a shell, and they don't like to talk to other people because they're intimidated or they're scared. But a game like this can really help them break out of that shell, and can really just help them connect with people and friendships that they may never have ever formed if it wasn't for this game.
Now, did you guys have any, I know Jacob, you probably did not, but Bobby, did you have any specific meaningful connections? Maybe did you ever go on any dates with your wife in Animal Crossing, go to the island together in New Leaf? And
we didn't do dates, but we did what we've always done is we've always bought the first game. So I got her hooked on the GameCube version through my Wii, and then when it came to the Wii, we actually went and bought a second Wii, so that way we could play together at the same time. And she would come to my town, or I'd go to her. Same thing with New Leaf. We would hang out occasionally in each other's town, but we more or less would play side by side, sit in the living room together playing, because we just decorating our towns. So it wouldn't be a matter of come to my town or come to yours, because we just wanted to hang out with them and stuff, just hang out and play and build our towns up and stuff. So I did have a friend who used to, because there was a notebook in the original GameCube version, who he would leave his wife at the time love letters every day before he would leave to go to work. And then she would come home and she would write something back to him. And it was a little secret thing that they did every single day and all that. So that was kind of cool.
That's so adorable. Wow. In a way, Animal Crossing, especially New Leaf, became a bit of a therapy, a marriage therapy, a bonding time with me and my wife. And my wife is very artistic. You go into the town and it's just, wow, you did all of this detail and all of this. I'm amazed because I'll go one day and it'll be this theme. She's really into Decora. And so it's this really cutesy neon, Japanese fashion. And then the next day I go into the town completely made over into this edgelord goth looking town. And how do you have the time to do all of this? And full changing the music too and everything. And going through different each day is a different genre, even a different world. That's amazing. And we would go together to the island and just spend that time there, swimming around and grabbing things and exchanging items that we picked up. And it's just, it was a great hangout for when we couldn't get out, especially during winter months. We had a scooter for a while and that was all that we had, and we couldn't get out. So we would just sit and we would play Animal Crossing on this date where we'd go to each other's towns and hang out. And that was an amazing thing for our relationship. And sadly to say, my version of Animal Crossing New Leaf, it disappeared. And so when they came out with the new update that added the amiibo and everything, I was like, I got to get back into this. And I went, and it wasn't in my case. And Anissa had already fired theirs up and was playing, and I can't find this. I tore my house apart, never found it. And I was so I looked in, what if I get a digital version? Can I pick up right where I left off? That's not the case. It's saved to the cartridge. And so I'm just kind of stuck and I can't do that anymore. So I am praying that there is a Switch version soon, that me and Anissa can go on dates again and just really enjoy this world in a new way. And that's kind of where I wanted to take this conversation. Where do you see Animal Crossing going in the future? What do you think that they'd add? What do you think that they'd shape to make it a new experience, but also keep that same connection? Jacob, what do you think? You mentioned a little bit what you thought you'd see the series becoming. What would you want to see added? That would be something maybe even you and your wife Becca could do together and play. If you both had one Joy-Con. or something like that, and you could play like if it did like a split screen type thing.
That would
and
be
each play the same village.
That would be interesting, to be honest. I could see like a well, now that we have Joy-Cons in the Switch, what if you could have like joint towns that two people work in? Like maybe my wife gets a house and I have a house, and we're two separate characters living in the exact same town. You could play it separately, or you could play it together, and it's split screen, and you do things like that. I think that would be really cool. I would love. Mr. Kyle Marr and I were talking about this just the other week as well. I would love to see maybe more of like a competitive type, something of competitiveness installed in the game, to where it gives me a reason to do things in my town more, and I can compete against, say, you per se, Ryan. Like maybe, I don't know, some with our houses, you can compete. Who has this? There's some contest within the game, and someone maybe wouldn't it be cool if you could set up a connection of community of towns, and like maybe there's some guy that like a Nintendo event, some little guy, some frog guy, I don't know, goes around for Nintendo, and he like goes to all of the towns individually, and he like racks up points based on like what your town may have or whatever, and then he goes to Bobby's town, and then he does that, and then there's like end results are at the end of the week, and he tells you which town and it ranked by Nintendo is the best town that he has visited, and why, and this is where everyone ranked on the list of who was better at this or what they had here. Like I think elements like that would be really cool to give me incentive to keep coming back to this game, because that's the number one thing, is that I've always just gotten bored and I didn't want to come back, because I got New Leaf as well. I did get it when it came out, and I was excited. Because I hadn't played Animal Crossing since the GameCube at this point, and I wanted to try it, and I played it, and to be honest, like a month in, I just got bored. So I could see really elements like that being thrown in the game into the future. I mean, do you think that would hurt the game, or do you think that's actually kind of unique or cool? Is that not what Animal Crossing is about? I'm just spitballing here because I'm telling you things I would like to see for me to enjoy it more.
So you'd like a bowling alley that you could play bowling with your friends and try to get a better score than everyone else?
Yeah, Saturday night bowlings.
something like that, like a weird tennis court that you could go to and play like tennis with your friends or something.
You could put all the Wii Sports in Animal Crossing, and we could all play each other there.
There's your competitive for you.
Okay, I'm down. That's 2 games in one. There's your old NES Classic games reinstalled back in the form of Wii Sports. How about you, Bobby? What do you think of my awesome ideas?
I don't think it's awesome. I think it's okay.
I do need to point out that some of the things that you said
they do similar stuff. Yeah, they do similar stuff in the game already. They have a Happy Home Academy where they come in, they grade your score or grade your house and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of stuff that's what I'm saying. The game is so much deeper than you realize, because you really haven't given it the proper opportunity to sink in.
Boring. I have to go in and work a job and make money in the game, and I already have to do that all day in real life. It's like, I don't want to go to my second job.
Jesus.
But where could you see the series going, Bobby?
I mean, I can see it doing a lot of things. I can see it going into different tiers, different levels. Like right now, it's just a flat world. Like they could do, different, kind of like when you played the Mario Kart level, where the track was kind of lower, and then there was different levels of ground and stuff. I could see them going into, just a stronger online community, in terms of like implementing a better voice chat system when you go in and you go to different people's towns and stuff. Just a lot of cool stuff. Like, I've always thought that, like, when you looked at the Wii had like a news channel. So change up the things that are being said to you, like grab the characters to clip into the news and just bring up something that's happening in the news, or the weather kind of goes off of what's happening outside in your real life, like that would be cool too, so just there's different things that I think that they could do for sure.
What I could see with the series is taking that online structure and doing like you can play this game online. You can take the Switch on the go and be disconnected from online, and you can play in your own town. But if you're playing online, you have access to this world, if you will, of different cities and different towns of different people, especially like people of your friends. They'll probably be a little closer to you than people that you're not friends with, so it'd be harder to get to their cities and what have you. But you could get a bus ticket and go there. And if you do enough bus tickets visiting different towns, eventually you'll get a bus stamp card, and you can visit them more often, or even make it unlimited the more you visit people's towns, and have this big like online hub, if you will, of all of the towns, of you, your friends, maybe even strangers. There's some mechanics that could go horribly wrong, but like to have this online, basically it is part built into the game. So that is the major experience, is being connected to the internet and being able to just like hop on a bus and go a short distance. Or if maybe there's a path you can walk to your like best friends on your Switch's list town, you can just like walk next door and there they are. Or you like to go over to the next screen and go over to their town to pick up some things and have this whole world connected. And I could see even like maybe a bigger city that you can go to that has kind of like the city folk feel, or like maybe some skyscrapers going on and some businesses and things that could connect. Anyone could go to like a central hub. Just have this network and keep this internet thing going, keep this social world building, and have that same spark that ignites these friendships and these interactions. But just make it like going over to I don't know where you are. You're maybe on the south side of town. You go to the north side of town and visit friends up there. And to make these traveling things not tedious and not hid behind like this, you have to earn money to go there, but something that would be easy to do tests to get a ticket to go to someone's town. And eventually it become free because you've done it enough times and unlock that world, if you will, of Animal Crossing. Are there any kind of mechanics that you'd like to see like removed, but like added? Is there anything that you think it's lacking?
Not for me, no. I mean, I feel like they nailed it with New Leaf, and I think they're right in the right direction. So I wouldn't really. There's not much I would change. I mean, I'm sure they can add some things
that we never even thought of. It was awesome.
Yeah, but there wasn't anything like I felt like New Leaf nailed it. They took the best of all the other games and kind of slammed it into that one. So I was good with that.
For me, it's just not my style of game. I mean, what it does really well. I mean, it fits a certain genre of game, and what it does, it nails it, So like, I don't think that things necessarily need to be taken out. I don't have issues with it like that. It's not a bad game. So, I know I just poked fun at it on this episode. It's not terrible. It's just a game that's not necessarily for me per se. But no, what it does really well. And I think what they have to do is just stick with the formula they have and build upon it. I think your key thing is really take advantage of the internet and their online services that they're doing. If we're paying for a service, hopefully it should be a million times better than what we even had on the 3DS. So I'd be really anxious and curious to see where they go with that. But that really, don't take nothing away, just add to it.
Yeah, if that, like my idea with the city, going to the city, like going to a bowling alley.
That would be cool.
Going to a sports complex where you can like kick around a soccer ball as your character.
Oh yeah,
with friends, just meet up and have like a quick game of something. Like that would be something that I'd like to see. That more social game interaction. I do like your idea of there being some kind of competitive drive, and that's not necessarily something that should be woven into something you have to do in the game. It should just be another option that you can do, just the same as you can go and get your hair styled. You can go somewhere and join your friends and do these tasks and games just to keep it lighthearted and fun, keep that social aspect going.
You put Amiibo Festival in the game at the city that everyone goes and they can play Amiibo Festival that way.
Let's forget about Amiibo Festival altogether. It was now. My wife would argue that, let's talk about Amiibo Festival just for a second before we end the episode. My wife would argue that this is a great game and sees a lot of potential in it and enjoys playing it as a time waster. and loves the world of Animal Crossing and loves the cutesy of everything. And so that really speaks to Nisa. But for me, it's so bare bones and it lacks so much. It's just like, why am I moving around collecting things? Like, but there's no real competitive thing to it. Not really. It's so laid back and relaxed. It's almost not a game.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I just wanted to bring that out there because that's like the black sheep of the Animal Crossing family.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, not even the fact that I didn't like Animal, but I'm not a big fan of the series in general. Is when I saw that, I was like, this looks stupid. We have Mario Party. I mean, that's basically what they try to do with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's a dumbed down Mario Party without mini games. I mean, it had some things, but
exactly.
And not to shadow the Happy Home Designer, which was a great iteration in itself. It was a more technical version of the customization and home designing, which it was. I don't know why they made it its own game, which I guess they kind of added those features to New Leaf with the update or some similar things. Is that correct?
Some things, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, I think that pretty much wraps up our episode for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed listening. Thank you, Bobby, for coming on the show. We really enjoyed having you again. Tell us where they can find you.
iTunes, SoundCloud. Actually, not SoundCloud. Let me back that up. iTunes, Google Play, dayspace.com, We the Nerdy. You can check out the podcasts I have, If We Ran Nintendo, the Geekcast, the hosts. I also have my YouTube channel, Nintendo Guru. So that's it. Follow me Twitter at Nintendo Gurus. That is all.
All right, Jacob, do you want to do our due diligence?
Yes. Everybody, you can find us on SoundCloud as well. But we are on iTunes. So look Nintendo Nostalgia up on iTunes. You can find us on Google Play. Our Facebook is facebook.com/NintendoNOS. Our Twitter is twitter.com/Nintendo_NOS. And then our email is NintendoNostalgiaIN@gmail.com. So if you ever want to reach out to us or send us in more stories of like future games that we'll be talking about or stories that and connections of why this game may mean a lot to you, just send us an email because we want to read that stuff on the show. We want to share your stories with other people, because your nostalgia, that's what this show is all about. It's about nostalgia, and we talk about our nostalgia, but we want to hear your nostalgia as well. So, and again, you can also share that by getting on our Facebook, and we have our community page. Ask to join our community page. You're more than welcome. We want you to be in there. We have some great conversations especially after episodes air. A lot of people like to share their thoughts right there on the page, and it's just a great way for us all to get to know each other, be friends, and build our communities for our Switches so we can play games and make them funner, like Animal Crossing or Mario Kart and Smash Bros, things like that. So, that's where you can find all of us. You can find me personally on Twitter at NOSJacob73, and I'm also on Facebook as well if you'd like to add me. I don't mind to do that.
You can find me personally at Metroid Hunter on Twitter. Check me out, follow me. I post some things. I post a lot of Switch pictures lately. I've been posting that. I've been doing a lot of stuff for the site, so I haven't logged into mine too much, but I post some interesting articles every once in a while, so check me out. I wanted to give you a little bit of wisdom before we close out, and that is never hit reset on Animal Crossing. Ever. All right. Well, that ends the episode. Later, guys.
See ya.
See ya.